Whispering Heart. Looking for a tale that will keep you up all night? Come join us on Midnight Murmurs, where we bring you tales that will make your heart beat. Our latest story, Whispering Heart, is a fresh variation on Edgar Allan Poe's classic, The Telltale Heart. Join our wounded protagonist as they negotiate the eerie whispers of a mystery heart and strive to find atonement. Therefore, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Midnight Murmurs, and get ready to be taken into a realm of dark and scary tales. As our narrative begins, we meet our protagonist, a tormented person who is tortured by the incessant murmurs of a mystery heart. The voices are relentless and appear to be encouraging our protagonist to perform horrific deeds. At first, our protagonist attempts to ignore the whispers and push them away, but as they continue to get louder, they become increasingly impossible to ignore. Suddenly, our protagonist finds themselves trying to keep their hold on reality as the whispers get more and more strong. The heart's words appear to have a power over our protagonist, drawing them deeper into a dark and twisted world where good and evil become confused. They start to feel as if they are losing control of themselves, and the voices begin to absorb their every waking thought. Despite their best attempts, our protagonist cannot avoid the whispers, and they begin to take over their life totally. They become a prisoner to the heart's words, unable to break free from its clutches. As the whispers get louder and more powerful, our protagonist finds themselves on the edge of lunacy, unable to determine what is real and what is not. They battle to keep their sanity as the heart's whispers get more and more urgent, driving them towards the verge of insanity. Will our protagonist be able to break away from the heart's control, or will they succumb to the whispers and be lost forever? Only time will tell as our narrative unfolds. When our protagonist continues to hear the incessant whispers of the heart, they begin to feel the weight of their guilt pressing down on them. They attempt to push the thoughts away, to ignore the voice that appears to be leading them into lunacy. Yet the harder they strive to hush the murmurs, the more they appear to rise in intensity. The shame becomes all-consuming, a continual reminder of the horrible crimes our protagonist has done. Every time they shut their eyes, they are plagued by the memories of their acts, the sound of the heart thumping louder than ever before. They become absorbed by the darkness that seems to be encircling them, feeling as though they are drowning in a sea of their own shame and sorrow. As the days go by, our protagonist grows more and more lonely, driving away people who care for them and retreating more into their own thoughts. They strive to find a method to atone for their misdeeds, to put things right, but the guilt is too great to bear. The heart's murmurs become a daily companion, a reminder of the dreadful things our protagonist has done. They feel as though they are losing their grasp on reality, unable to distinguish the difference between the truth and the illusions that seem to be gaining control of their head. In the end, the guilt becomes too much to take, and our protagonist slides into darkness. They get eaten by their own shame, their thinking absorbed by the words of the heart. It appears as though there is no escape from the darkness that has taken hold, no way to break free from the load of guilt that seems to be crushing them. As the game proceeds, our protagonist must face the truth about their acts and decide whether to confront their remorse head-on or be engulfed by the darkness forever. As the heart's cries got louder and more persistent, our heroine began to think that there was more to this mystery heart than they had previously assumed. The murmurs seemed to be coming from a specific source, and our protagonist couldn't escape the impression that they knew the person to whom the heart belonged. One night, when the heart's murmurs reached a fever pitch, our protagonist finally had a breakthrough. They followed the whispers to a hidden area in their home and encountered a horrific scene. There, lying on a bed, was the lifeless body of someone they had known for years, a friend, a neighbor, someone who had trusted them. When the reality dawned on our protagonist, the remorse of their acts threatened to engulf them utterly. They recognized that they had been pushed to execute a dreadful crime by the whispering of the heart and that they had wrecked someone's life in the process. The weight of their guilt was nearly intolerable, and our protagonist fought to come to grips with what they had done. They understood they had to accept responsibility for their acts, but they also realized that it would come at a high price. While they wrestled with their remorse and attempted to figure out what to do next, the heart's murmurs continued to torment them, a continual reminder of the awful thing they had perpetrated. Our protagonist understood that they couldn't keep living with this burden forever, but they also realized that there was no simple way out. In the end, it was up to our protagonists to pick their fate, whether to confront the repercussions of their deeds and try to make atonement, or to succumb to the heart's whispering and be engulfed by their own darkness. The choice was theirs, and only time would tell what their decision would be. In the last portion of Whispering Heart, our protagonist reaches a key point where they must choose between redemption or annihilation. The shame of their acts weighs hard upon them, and they must decide whether to face their faults and seek forgiveness or let their remorse devour them altogether. At this point in the novel, the heart's murmurs have gotten louder and more persistent, bringing our protagonist to the edge of lunacy. They are unable to escape the guilt that bothers them, and it feels like there is no way out. Yet, when our protagonist begins to address their remorse, they understand that they have a choice. They can continue along the path of ruin, allowing the heart's words direct them towards more horrific crimes. Instead, they can choose to seek redemption, taking responsibility for their acts and making apologies for the hurt they have caused. Choosing redemption is never an easy route, and our protagonist must confront the repercussions of their decisions. They may need to make difficult decisions and face the judgment of others. Yet, by taking responsibility for their mistakes, individuals may begin to heal and find a way to go ahead. On the other hand, if our protagonist chooses destruction, they will continue down a road of darkness that can only lead to their own doom. The heart's words will absorb them totally, and they will be gone forever. In the end, the option is up to our protagonist, and the destiny of their soul hangs in the balance. Will they choose redemption and find a way to make up for their mistakes? Or will they succumb to the heart's whispers and be destroyed by their own darkness? Only time will tell. As the narrative finishes, the listener is left to examine the power of guilt and the need of taking responsibility for one's actions. It is a reminder that redemption is always possible, even at the darkest of circumstances, but it needs courage, honesty, and a willingness to face the repercussions of one's misdeeds. In conclusion, Whispering Heart reminds us that the echoes of our acts may linger with us long after we have made them. Our protagonists struggle with guilt, and the persistent whispering of the heart serve as a cautionary tale about the risks of yielding to one's inner demons. But this narrative also gives hope, reminding us that the route to redemption is always accessible to us, no matter how far we have wandered from it. While our protagonist may have endured horrific tragedies, their road towards atonement is an uplifting one. It is a reminder that no matter how tough our circumstances may be, there is always a path forward. By their tenacity and courage, they teach us that it is possible to confront our guilt, face the consequences of our acts, and make atonement. At Midnight Murmurs, we think that tales have the potential to inspire, challenge, and move us. Whispering Heart is an excellent illustration of this. We hope that this narrative has left you with a fresh respect for the power of storytelling and that it has motivated you to take the first steps towards redemption, no matter how tough they may be. Thank you for listening to Whispering Heart, and we hope you will continue to join us on Midnight Murmurs as we bring you more dark and unsettling tales. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to remain up to date with all our latest articles.